know what to do if you encounter a funeral procession on the road while you're traveling. Well, many people don't know the rules of the road and others just ignore it. It is a very important and confusing topic. We'll get straight talk from Funeral Director Jeff Edwards of Edwards Funeral Services, along with Gregory Harrison of Capital City Funeral Escort Police. Welcome to both of you. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Gail.
And Jeff, this is a wonderful topic, and I know this is something that you're very familiar with, being a funeral director and leading funeral processions in the city. Is it lack of respect or just lack of general rules, you think, that make people kind of disrupt a funeral procession when it's on the road?
It's actually both, I think.
Both.
There's a lot of disrespect, but also people just don't know what to do when they encounter a funeral procession.
Give me some ideas of what folks should do. And we're talking a funeral procession could be, what, 5 cars, up to 25, 30 cars?
I've seen them hundreds of cars.
Really?
It can be huge. The thing that I recommend is just slow down. It's going to take a few seconds of your day, but slow down and show respect as if you were part of that procession and it was for your family member. I mean, we're all in a hurry nowadays, and the funeral processions typically go slower, and some people just don't have the patience to deal with something they're not really sure how to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. What did you say earlier? Or maybe it was you, Gregory, that said to me, treat it as if it's an emergency vehicle that's passing by you.
Exactly right.
Pull to the side.
Pull to the side. Show the people respect.
You are one of an elite group of folks who will lead funeral processions for people like Jeff and other funeral directors and funeral services here in the city. Does that make it a bit safer, you think, to have that leader, somebody to sort of take charge? Look at Jeff saying yes, it does.
Without a doubt. Absolutely right.
What do you see when you're on the road? What are the troubles that you have run into?
So many violators, so many different people, as Jeff has already explained, in a hurry. Just total blatant disrespect in regards for the deceased family. Accidents, discourteous.
Have you seen accidents yourself?
Oh, several, many.
And Jeff, you?
I have. I mean, just 5 or 6 years ago, one of the local officers was run over by an SUV just because people were in too big of a hurry, and it's a very serious accident. He's no longer an escort driver because of it.
Yes.
Now, Gregory, if you are leading a procession, and here's where I always find that I'm confused. Can I go around the procession? Say there's 2 lanes there, and we're not talking highway. Can you go around that procession, or is it still best to pull to the side and wait until they're all gone?
I think you should stay within your current lane that you're traveling in. Slow down and allow the procession to pass you.
Okay. Do you take processions, funeral processions, on the highway?
Very seldom, but yes. Some routes require that, yes.
Yeah, and Jeff, the important part about the procession is it's part of the service, isn't it? And it really is important to many people that they stay together as a group as they make that final journey.
It is. It's a very important part of the funeral process. It's carrying out the last task, if you will, taking your loved one to their final resting place at the cemetery.
It has a bit of a history too, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it's gone on for many, many years. I think one of the original and one of the largest processions was that of President Abraham Lincoln. I believe there was tens of thousands of people that participated in part of that funeral procession.
There's an old picture of it. Wow, my gosh, there were. So this really does have its roots that go way back as far as being part of the funeral process.
It does. It has its roots in our American customs, our way of life, if you will, and death.
Gregory, we've talked about what people should do if they see a procession. What if you're in the procession? What's the role of someone who's participating in the funeral procession, going from the funeral home to the cemetery?
I think all the participants should stay at least 1 to 1.5 cars behind the following car, or behind the car that's previously in front of them. I think they should always pay attention and listen to the commands of the officer in charge.
Should they always have their lights on? I've seen people do that, right?
Your headlights and your flashing emergency lights, along accompanied with one of the funeral homes, orange and white or either purple and white, which all funeral homes should.
They're little flags, right?
Yes, the little flags, magnetic flags, and all funeral homes provide this for the services that they have.
Anything else, Jeff, that we should know before we leave, either for the person who is driving and sees a procession or in a procession?
I say just slow down, lend a few minutes of your day to respect the funeral procession. If you're in the procession, I mean, stay with the car behind you. Don't leave a big gap. If you leave a big gap, you leave an opportunity for a very impatient driver to swerve in, to get over, and actually cause an accident. If we're going through a traffic light and the funeral procession that has come to the intersection at a green light has the right-of-way, they have the right-of-way even through the red light for the entire procession to proceed forward. But if you've left a gap with the car in front of you, the people that are waiting impatiently for their green light will take that opportunity to say, well, it's done, and they'll cut through, and that's when major accidents have happened.
Right.
This is great advice. Thank you both for clearing it up because there are lots of questions out there. Nice to see you.
Thank you
Gail.
for having us.
Thank you.